the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras!
Happy Mardi Gras.
And welcome to another episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight we have the very special honor of interviewing Mr. Clark Brennan from the Krewe of Bacchus. How are you, sir?
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Great to be here. Good to be in New Orleans, and you can just feel the electricity in the air as I drove in this evening.
Yeah, just coming down I-10, you can tell that that's a lot of the people who are starting to come into town.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It's
Absolutely.
definitely a lot.
Canal Street, and the police were out moving barricades for the parades tonight, and so it's on. Let's put it that way. It's
the
on.
crowds so far have been very nice, and really everybody's in a great spirit. It feels different than other.
Well, it's been
so far.
2 years. It's been
Sure.
For us as far as an organization, it's been a little rusty. You got to kind of knock the cobwebs out and get the rust off. Even though we do this every year, you miss a year, you kind of forget what you did 2 years ago. I can see the same thing. I'm assuming for the police and the fire and the and the trash and everything else that the city has to do, but the people are out in force because they want Mardi Gras, and they missed it for 2 years. They missed it. So the pent-up demand is amazing. I mean, we're sold out. We're sold out.
Yeah.
We added another float, half a float, and a little bit extra on it. Gone.
Jeez.
Wow.
And so I know Iris, everybody that I've talked to, Iris, all the parades that I've talked to, all the captains, everybody's completely sold out.
Yeah, I've heard Pygmalion was sold out.
Yeah.
Lots of the big extravaganza sort of stuff are all sold out.
That's awesome.
I love
That's
it
awesome.
because, as well as we do, it's in the soul. Like, we need it. Like, I was just sick last year without it.
I know.
Like, let's get it together.
Well, I hope it's like after Katrina. People were, it was a big issue with Katrina, as we all know. We were all there. I lost my house. I'm sure y'all lost y'all's stuff as well. And COVID did the same thing. It locked us all up. It separated us. It made us move. It made us go different areas. And so Mardi Gras is the one time that our city comes together and just has a blast. And black, white, gay, straight, religion, it doesn't matter. Yeah. We're all here for a good time.
Right. So first, let's talk a little bit about Bacchus.
Sure, absolutely.
So I know that the parade itself started it was founded in 1968.
Yes, sir.
And the first roll was 69.
Yes, sir.
I read somewhere that there was actually a little bit of Bacchus before that.
Yes. My grandfather, Owen Brennan Sr., he and Dr. LaRocca put on a ball, and they sold tickets. So you couldn't get into any balls. You couldn't go to Rex. You couldn't go to Proteus. You couldn't go to Comus. You couldn't go to any of those. They were private. So my grandfather said, what can I do for the people that are coming to my restaurant? How can they participate in Mardi Gras? And so they started to do these particular things at, and I forget the name of the place right there on Chapatula Street, but we pass it every year. My dad always says that's where it started. I just forget the name of the place. But so they did that, and they sold tickets, and they put on a little tableau. They put on a little ball for everybody, so you could get a piece of the action and kind of feel what was happening at a big Rex organization when they would have their meeting of the court. But you also got a hotel room, and you got dinner at Brennan's or any of the other restaurants that my grandfather was friends with. And so it was a package to come to New Orleans to experience a little bit of Mardi Gras.
I'd never realized it was a whole package. I'd known about the ball happening a couple times.
But part of the ball was a package that came with dinner and hotel and
getting you in with the.
So you got all kinds of packages today traveling. Back then they didn't have packages, but my grandfather thought of that, so it's pretty cool.
But before that, like you say, there was no just going to a ball. You had to be, in the in crowd.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. And look, everybody has their place in Mardi Gras. Mm-hmm. You have the very secret societies. Mm-hmm. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then you have others that are open to everybody.
Yeah.
And when my father decided to do Bacchus, the parade, he wanted it open to everybody. We don't do women, but Doesn't matter your race or your color or your religion. You can be
There's
in
still
Bacchus.
plenty for the women
Absolutely.
of the organization. Like
Absolutely.
we went to your open house
Absolutely.
the other day. And
Yeah.
that's a great party.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, y'all's open house, it felt to me like I was walking into a circus almost.
Sure.
Because all of the floats are lit up, and the Bacchus
Smoke
Gators
coming out of
got
it.
smoke coming out of them.
Sure.
There's music coming off of this float over here.
Yeah.
Y'all had all the vendors, and as you'd walk around at all the different floats, there was little activities that you could do at every float.
We, and my dad, been doing it forever, but in the last 7 years since I've been captain, I really wanted to bring the families involved. We ride on the float. It's great. My wife has, she knows, but I'm saying most people don't really get to see. That's why we have an open house. I wanted to take it a step further. And so if Clark Brennan and his wife Tiffany came, that's great. Honey, that's where I ride. That's my float. And it's exciting. Well, let's bring the kids in. And so we started getting Lucky Dog hot dogs, and then Pigeon Catering did some food, and then we brought in the clowns and the face painters and the character artists and the cotton candy. Yeah. So we've had rock climbers, we've had photo booths, we've done all kinds of stuff. We've had apple bobbing, we've put on a circus environment or a fair environment, so the kids can say, oh my God, look where my daddy goes, look where my grandfather goes, look where my uncle goes, look where my brother goes, and what fun is Bacchus as a family event. And that has been my focus over the last 7 years, is to bring the families in. Because if you have the families, the guy's going to pay his money to ride, and he's going to stay a member. And it just brings joy to my heart to see the multiple generations, where you've got a grandfather, a father, a son, and a grandson, and sometimes now a great-grandson.
I was about to say, I thought I'd heard something about a fifth generation riding now.
Yes. So
that's amazing.
it, to me, that makes me feel good. That makes me feel that people understand what Bacchus is about, and that we are giving back to our members as much as we can to make sure that we include all, and everybody can have a great time. And the open house has gone from 1,000 people, 2,000 people. Now we're close to 4,000 people.
Oh, I believe it. It was a packed house.
Well, I'll admit it. I sneak in every year to get a set of doubloons.
That's okay.
But I've seen it grow, over the years. But this year when we went in, I was like, wow, look at that. It's really going this year.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned the family environment, not only within the organization, but out on the streets. It's a huge family deal. I know so many families that this is like their family reunion every year.
Absolutely.
Is Bacchus Sunday.
Well, Bacchus Sunday is important. I love Bacchus Sunday. But I would say Mardi Gras in general is across the board as a family environment.
Yeah.
Years ago when you had the girls going wild and that kind of press got out there, it was mayhem and debauchery, and we really cracked down on it. And the city really got behind that with the press and saying, look, you can have that. That's in the French Quarter. But truthfully, the parade routes plural, are all families.
Yeah, they've been
and people
clean
come,
for
and it's tradition. It's years and years and years and years that my family shows up on such and such block, and we get there on Friday, and we don't leave till Sunday. And I had a good buddy of mine. He'd go 4 or 5 days in advance to get prepared for Endymion. And then he'd send his kids got older, he'd send another one days in advance to get ready for Bacchus. Yeah. So there's dedication and commitment. Some people would say people are crazy, but hey, people love Mardi Gras. People love to go hunt and fish and play golf. Other people love to do Mardi Gras.
Yeah. I saw J.K. Simmons after he rode. I think he was still at your party, and he was. Some interview, I forget who it was, and he was like, I couldn't believe it. It was G-rated. Because everybody has it in their head that, everything's burned.
And that perception has really changed over the years, and the press has really helped with that. Arthur Hardy did a big push on that to where we could get the word out that we want the families. You can still have all that in the French Quarter and do what you want to do, but But out on the parade route, you don't see it that much anymore.
Yeah,
So
I
I've
can't
been
tell you the last time
No,
I saw
no,
someone
no.
doing any of that kind of stuff.
That's
So I've been sitting on the same corner for Bacchus. I think this is my 29th or 30th year.
Yeah.
We're on General Pershing in St. Charles. This is our shirt.
Sure.
I have to make a correction. You said it's Bacchus Sunday. It's actually
Temple Day.
called Temple Day. Because we were right by the synagogue, right?
Sure,
At one
sure,
point.
sure.
So they threw us off. Now we're on
Yeah.
the other corner.
Yeah.
But we've been there forever. We don't announce it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how it is. So
That's the way it is, man. It's just
I
awesome.
love that.
That's awesome.
That's always been sort of my heyday, of Mardi Gras. By the time Mardi Gras hits, especially now that we do like 50 parades a year,
Yeah.
I'm kind of done. So Bacchus is really the crescendo of it for me.
Sure.
So,
Well, we put a lot of work into it. We put a lot of money into it, and we want to give back to our members. We want to give back to our citizens, and we want to put on a hell of a show for anybody that's traveling to our city. And that's what Bacchus was started for, was to bring the limelight, the spotlight, the world attention to our city.
it's unbelievable to me that, some of the reasoning of, throwing the parade and all this occupancy of the hotels was something like 40% before, Bacchus
Well,
started. And,
yeah.
there's no real way to say. I know it wasn't a real intention of Bacchus to change Mardi Gras, but there's no way around it. You have,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean,
between the larger
Dad didn't want to
parades.
change
Yeah.
Mardi Gras, but he wanted to change the business side of it.
Yeah.
And so when you own restaurants, you want butts and
Yeah, you want
chairs.
butts and chairs, yeah.
And so when they're not here, and look, Mardi Gras is great,
Mm-hmm.
but what can we do more? How do we make it better? How do we make it more inclusive? And so that was the vision my dad, still living today, was his vision to try to do that with the other businessmen to start Bacchus. Be more inclusive, to give people a taste of what Mardi Gras is about. Now we have people from around the country, around the world that ride in Bacchus or
Yeah,
in
I've got a friend
Orpheus.
from California,
So
right.
it gives them that opportunity. And so when they come, they stay in hotel rooms, they go to
Yeah,
restaurants,
they go to the great restaurants.
they spend money in our city, and it's a huge tax revenue base now for our city. And back then it wasn't, but now it is. And so I would say yes, he changed it that way.
Oh, yeah.
He also changed it by giving someone the opportunity to ride in a parade that might not have had the opportunity prior to that. So he was he pushed the envelope. He definitely did.
Well, beyond that, I mean, the
Well,
tandem floats.
yeah, there's
Sure.
lots of
and the
innovation.
Sure.
Lots of that was
Sure.
Bacchus Innovations.
Sure.
The app.
That's right. The app's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When we did it last year, I mean, it was, George Schiaffino and Jason DeMont, they do the app stuff. I'm not that up on it. They know it, but people were just so happy last year to have something,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of people that got on that app and
I
caught
caught a
throws.
bike.
Yeah,
You got the
caught
bike?
a bike.
I
Yeah.
caught a bike. I was riding all around
Yeah,
the
yeah,
corner
yeah.
on it. And
Yeah,
it's a
that's
little
cool.
kid's bike.
That's cool.
It's a little
So
kid's
this
bike.
year,
I went
so
all
this year
around.
we're throwing the pure silver doubloons. We're throwing the we've got parade wagon. We're throwing some parade chairs to sit in, plus some other throws on the app this year. So the app will be back. Throw me something, Mister, and it's very popular now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the intention.
We had
for
One
my-
day I want to throw a house.
The house?
Yep, I'm gonna throw a
Tell me
house.
where on the route I need to be. Get rid of
But I
that
just think,
mortgage.
again, the publicity would be great. If we're going to throw,
Yeah,
how can we buy an insurance policy or something to cover, they give away houses all the time. And so
Yeah.
how can you do that? Or a car. Throw a car, maybe not a house, but a car.
No, I have a car.
You got a car.
Yeah.
You want the house.
I want to get rid of my mortgage.
But so it was cool to put that. And again, that's Bacchus. We always are looking to, be innovative and what can we do again to bring the focus to our city.
Yeah. I got that bike. I tell the story. I got that bike, went home, kind of tightened everything down because it's sort of a kid's bike,
Sure.
and I'm a big goofy guy, so like I got on it and I had some friends that live on Frenchman. They just bike everywhere. So
Yeah.
I brought that, and they're like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on." But everywhere we went, they're like, "Oh, you got one!"
I know,
Like
I
everybody
know.
knew
Oh,
about
big
it.
deal, man. Big deal. Big deal. Big
And
deal.
it was the day we picked them up too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's great.
One of the other special things about y'all is, from what I understand, y'all innovated the post-parade party. Is that correct?
I don't know if we did that. We definitely brought the floats
First
through
Yeah.
the parade. Okay, so I would say of more of just the party atmosphere, the rendezvous we call it.
Yes.
Yeah, but the big deal was bringing the entire parade through that party. Now, that had never been done before.
Yeah.
And
Was
so the
that
River
done?
Gate was able to do that. Blaine Curran tells the story when they were building the River Gate. He said, "We're going to have to bring floats through here. You need a bigger door." And the guy's like, "What are you talking about? This place ain't built for Mardi Gras. This is a convention center." He says, "No, we need bigger doors. We got to make sure, because I think one day there'll be parades coming through this building." He was right. My dad starts Bacchus, and they do the River Gate, and it was
Next thing
it
you know,
is
they had-
amazing. It is amazing, on the street on St. Charles Avenue to see the beautiful floats come down with the oak trees and the lights, and you can just close your eyes and picture that beautiful scene. But it is pretty cool to be in that rendezvous with 8, 9, 10,000 people, and those floats come through. They get a lot bigger
Yeah.
when they get inside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
So y'all did the rendezvous from day one, from first
Yeah,
parade?
yeah, sure did.
Okay,
Went through,
I didn't know
went
that.
through the river gate. It sure did. Sure did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you said, Bacchus Sunday. It's just getting pumped up, getting ready. We get dressed, and then you get on the float, and then you ride in the parade, and so it's a long day.
Yeah.
And then when you get to that convention center in Hall J, and they open up that door, and it's time to go in, it's a whole nother adrenaline rush, man. It's powerful. It's powerful.
So we've mentioned floats a couple times. One real special thing about Bacchus, it feels like y'all have more signature floats than some crews have floats.
Sure.
Y'all have, I think, 15 different.
It came to be, it was just that the kids love those floats. And so when a child can see the Bacchus Kong float coming down,
Yeah.
some get scared and run. Some are amazed at the noise coming from the float. When they see the whimsical dinosaur, the Bacchusaurus coming down, it's not a mean dinosaur, but the kids love it. And so and my mom was always behind that, and her and Uncle Blaine Curran, always fed off of each other. And we'd sit around the dining room table and discuss. As a kid, I've been around this all my life, and what are we going to do next year, and what are you going to do? And so once Augie Perez started with the Bacchus Gator and had multiple floats and could move through the streets, that was it. And so we were always thinking of what is the cute things that can do to bring the kids their vision and their imagination to say, man, we got to go to the parade and see the Bacchatality float, which is all New Orleans, or we got to go see the Baccamore, which is all the hearts and the love and all the different floats.
Even the King's float and the officers' floats are iconic.
Right.
You know?
Now the King's float, we've made some adjustments and made some things safer, but that's still somewhat the same as from the beginning.
Yeah.
The officers' float, we just changed it 2 years ago, and so we did do a new officers' float, but we took the old chassis, and this year we made it into deep in the heart of Texas.
All
So
right.
we took that chassis, redid it, and now it's a themed float. But that was really the reason behind the signature floats, was because of the whimsical and the kids getting excited to see a dinosaur, a whale, an alligator.
A family of giant apes. You know what I mean?
So
That's right.
We had both gone to a grammar school that had this large, Mardi Gras ball every year. This big, lavish ball. I kind of thought every school did it for the longest time. But I remember when the baby was born,
When Baby Kong?
Baby Kong, thank you.
Sure,
was born.
sure,
And, like,
sure.
It was like fanfare, like
I
my
know.
teachers were talking about it.
I know.
So I remember the first time I saw it, like,
Well,
very
Kong came
clearly.
out, from the King Kong movie, and then but no riders were on it at first, and then a couple of guys said, "Man, you think we could ride on that?" So Dad and Blaine looked at changing it to where you could ride on it. So had a couple of riders, and then, as you know, Mama Kong came, and then Mama Kong and Daddy Kong, and I guess had a date one night, and we had Baby Kong.
It might have been my introduction to the birds and the bees.
That's right.
But I remember it used to be kind of a target. I was kind of glad when you put on some riders.
Yeah,
It stop people
yeah.
from throwing it. Because, I mean, come on, that's a nice work of art. Stop throwing it.
It's very expensive, and it spends a lot of money to redo it every year. But now we're really asking people, please don't throw it because we have riders.
Yeah.
It's still a little bit, but it's gotten much better.
Yeah, I remember for a few years where the riders would be wearing like construction hats.
Absolutely.
And like the face shields.
Absolutely. Yeah, it got really bad, but it's gotten better.
So we had mentioned a little bit about the celebrities. That was an innovation as well that y'all brought in. Was
Sure, my
a
dad.
celebrity royalty.
Having Brennan's restaurant, a lot of the celebrities would come have dinner, breakfast at Brennan's, and so my dad got to meet a lot of people, and those people became friends. And the city of New Orleans was just such an attraction for Hollywood. It still is today, but back then you didn't have as many stars and actors and celebrities as you have today. So, if a Bob Hope walked down the street, you knew Bob Hope was coming down the street. And so my family became friends with a lot of these people. And Danny Kaye was the first king, and he was friends with my Aunt Ella and Adelaide and my dad and Uncle Dick. And whenever he would come to town, he'd go to my aunt's house and they'd have dinner and just, these people, they're normal people. These are all celebrities, and they'd always remember they put on their pants one leg at a time, as just like we do. Mm-hmm. So when they're not in the limelight, they're pretty laid back people. Mm-hmm. And so just became friends. And then, people would come to the restaurant, and my dad would say, "Hey, you ever thought of being king of Bacchus? And I'm the captain, and this and that." And yeah, sure. And then it just happens. It just happens. It's a lot harder today, though. It's a lot harder today to get to these people. You have to get to Josh Duhamel.
Yeah.
We have to be able to talk to him. A lot of these, they're so separated and surrounded, it's hard to get to them. You call up an agent and say, "Hey, I'd like Clark Brennan to be the king of Bacchus." What?
Like what?
Who? What are you talking about?
Right.
How much are you going to pay me? And so we don't pay our kings. It's an honor to have them come and be the king of Bacchus. And when they see the lineages that we have as our 53 kings, they're like, "Whoo, these are some heavy hitters."
Y'all have had the who's. It's a who's who of music.
Yeah.
Hollywood,
Sure.
sports,
Sure.
comedians.
Sure.
One that I know every New Orleanian remembers vividly is Drew Brees. Y'all got Drew Brees.
He won the Super Bowl, and we got him a week later, which we just got lucky, and he was available, and he was excited to do it, but it was a big coup to get him right after winning the Super Bowl. That was cool. And then Will Ferrell is just an awesome guy, funny, but a great family man. He brought his mom and dad, and that's another thing that I do. I mean, as the captain, I'm in the service industry. I'm here to please. So when we bring these kings in, we want them. The celebrities are always treated like a king, like a celebrity. Yeah. But sometimes they go to these events and their families are put over here and, "Hey, Joe, come with us." Yeah. And the wife and the kids and the mom and the dad, they just, it's second thought. Here, again, family, we take care of them. And all the events we bring them to, we have dinners, we take them to lunches, but we include the king's family with all these events. And it makes a big difference. And we want that because if the family's happy, the king's happy. And so through the years, we've really forced and pushed that to make sure that this was more of a vacation for the king than a work. Yeah. And usually, Hollywood wants to put up, again, I'm going to use my name, Clark Brennan, as the king because there's a big movie coming out next month or the month after that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, can you get him to do this? Can you get him to go to this interview? Can you get him to do this? And it becomes a work weekend.
Yeah.
It's cool. We've done that, and it's okay. But there's nothing better than, hey, come down, relax,
Yeah.
and be with your family, man. Because these people, they work hard.
I love that they all visit Children's Hospital and all that too.
Well, that's
just
a huge
wonderful
thing, man. It's just, it's always been dear to our heart. Bacchus has been going there for years, and we've always brought the king there. There's just sometimes there's a life-changing experience when you go to Children's Hospital.
Like how they
seeing the
crown
smiles
kid
on the
and all.
kids.
Oh,
And
man. I mean, and again, we're going back to kids. I love
Yeah.
kids. It's just to see those eyes open up, to see the smile, to get a signature, to get a T-shirt, to get a doubloon, to get a pair of beads.
You get to crown the king.
Absolutely, and that's a big deal, man. It's a big deal, and a lot of these kings, they say it's one of the highlights of the event, the weekend, because we normally get them in on Thursday, and we have events Thursday night. Then we go to Children's Hospital on Friday. We have the King's Party Friday night. Saturday's kind of an off day, and we take them for a little lunch, and of course Bacchus Sunday, game on.
yeah.
But for that period of those 3 or 4 days, that Children's Hospital is a special point. Point.
I've heard even rumor that the past several years I've heard this rumor that even after the, shall we call it, the press visit, to where a lot of the times the news is there,
Sure.
watching as he visits.
Sure.
I've heard a lot of the times that the king even goes back
He does.
on that Saturday
Absolutely.
quietly,
Right.
while the cameras ain't
Absolutely.
rolling.
Once the
just so he
cameras
can
are
go see
going,
him. Yeah.
several times. Some guys, look, it's not their thing.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
It's hard to see for a lot of people.
Absolutely, man.
I
It's
can understand
it's tough. I go every year. It's tough. I mean, it's not easy, man. These kids are really sick.
Yeah.
But we've had several that have gone back. Hey, turn the cameras off. I just want to go see Joey.
Yeah.
I want to go see Cindy. I want to go see, so and so, kind of touch me, and so, or throughout the year, Jim Caviezel called me several times to check on a child that he had seen, and so
Okay.
every time I talk to him, he says, "Can you find out about the child?"
Yeah, about little Jimmy or whoever. Yeah.
So, and that's another great testament to what we do at Bacchus, is to make sure that we give back to the community, make sure we give back to the city, and just make it a great show.
Yeah, and you mentioned that a lot of times the actors, they'll be asked, that it used to be kind of lined up of, oh, they're in town, do a little presser for their movie or their TV show,
Sure,
whatever.
sure.
While they're still taking a day off per se,
Right.
it is, top of the line celebrities. To where, I remember a few years ago, Anthony Mackie, it was like a month or so after the Avengers movies
Sure,
were leaving
sure,
the
sure.
theaters.
Now he's Mr. America now.
Yeah.
He's big time. now,
Right. Well,
we love Anthony, and it was great. To, we've had other local kings, that have done it. Pete Fountain. Gosh, I can't think of his name right this second, but I know you got.
John Larroquette.
That's right. He's local, and then so when Anthony did it, was just a great. He was our first African American king, and he just told stories about as a little kid. Just bring tears to your eyes. And his dad worked with a guy who rode on the horses, and every Bacchus, the riding lieutenant would stop and take each one of the kids, put him on the horse, and make a circle. Drop Anthony off, grab Willie. Willie, get on the horse, make a little circle. Drop Willie off, get Calvin up there, do a circle. So Anthony told this story, and he says, to come from that to where we were able to get on a horse to being king of Bacchus.
Yeah, I know.
Anything's.
Yeah, I know it's such an honor for him that pretty much every time that I see him on a nighttime
Sure.
talk show,
Sure.
he's bringing up his
right.
reign as Bacchus.
That's right.
You know, even on the YouTube show Hot Ones, where
Yeah.
all they get is 10 questions.
Yeah.
One of those questions he made sure was about being Bacchus.
We love him. He's a great guy. It's great to see, and we stay in touch. We stay in touch.
He rode for a couple of years following, didn't he?
Oh, he still rides.
Oh, he's still
He's supposed to be here this year too. I mean,
Very nice.
you know, he loves it. Jensen Ackles is coming back this year. Jim Caviezel's supposed to be coming back this year, and so hey, that's just testament to us that we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
These guys are busy. You know, Andy Garcia comes back every year and rides.
Really?
So it, I love
You're
it.
going to run out of float space eventually.
I love it. I love it. When we did our 50th anniversary, several of them came back for a visit. You know.
So just before we recorded, one thing that my partner here was showing you was his doubloon collection.
It's awesome.
Doubloons are as synonymous with Bacchus
Sure.
as, you know, I would say the wine goblet. You know what I
Sure,
mean? That you know, every year the balloon collectors are chasing after the Bacchus collections.
Sure. Sure.
And even, you know, one of the most popular ones that people collect is y'all's King doubloons.
Yes. Yes. It again, it was another thing to put the king's face on the doubloon, which was pretty cool. It's the only doubloon that I know of that has the face of the king.
Yeah.
And so it is a collector's item, you know. And then we did the little mini green doubloons. It was something different. Doubloons, as you know, y'all go to the parades. They're those people like y'all that ask, please give me some doubloons.
That's all I really want.
Yeah.
But
I can't bring
it's
anything else
changing so much now.
Yeah.
You know, the throws now, it's a whole nother, you know, the beads, the cups, it's just, if it's not blinking anymore, it's almost like they just let it drop.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember as kids, as y'all do too, I mean, you know, you'd come home and your neck was up here with beads on
Yeah.
it. That means you had a great
Right,
parade,
right.
you know? Yeah. So it's kind of sad to see that, but then again, it makes us work harder to see what can we do to throw to the guests and to the streets.
I mean,
And so
it's making a comeback. Though.
it is.
Yeah.
The glass beads are coming back. I've always wanted that. You know, I remember as a kid getting glass beads, and we started bringing that back. I don't know if we were the first ones to do it, but 3 or 4 years we found
Started
glass
seeing them
beads.
a few
Yes.
years ago.
So that's coming back. Cups a little bit. Doubloons now back a little bit. Yeah.
But one of the other things I see is, let's say, useful throws, you know, to where
Well,
it's not
that-
just something
right,
that,
right.
hey,
And
I'm
that's-
going to wear it this day, and then I'm going to put it in a bag.
Right.
That's
And
it.
that's the whole going green.
Yeah.
And trying to stop some of the plastic usage, trying to stop some of the trash, as you all know, the trash that is piled up. So we really focused 2 years ago, maybe it was 3 years ago, on the green movement to really start cutting back on the beads and really doing higher end stuff and throws that you can use, clothing, kitchenwares, food items.
Bicycles.
The bicycles,
Yeah.
wagons, you know.
Well,
so
I can-
that's been our focus lately.
Well, I can proudly say that I am wearing a Bacchus throw right now with Bacchus socks.
There you go. I got mine
You know,
on.
yeah.
I got mine on. I sure do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the socks.
Yeah.
They're great socks, and so I'm on my feet all the time. So I do like these particular socks. I don't know the name brand, but I got to get with
Yeah, they're-
George Schiaffino. He's in charge of all throws, and he'll know where they come from. But yeah, I mean, we again, innovative. What can we do that's different that people will want?
Well, I'm sure you're kind of like us. You know, the green movement is a great thing, and I think something we have to do. But as a rider, I don't want to throw anything that's just going to sit on the ground either. That's no fun to me.
Correct.
So
You want that person
Yeah,
to catch it, to
absolutely.
get that, and y'all have ridden in parades, when
Yeah.
you get that eye contact and you see the appreciation from the girl, the guy, the little kid that caught what you
You're like,
threw,
ooh,
it's
yeah.
a special.
Yeah.
We're human
Absolutely.
beings. We want that affirmation back and forth. And that's something that COVID took from us, and that's why I think this year's Mardi Gras is going to be amazing.
Yeah. So far, it's been a blast.
Yeah.
So y'all roll on the traditional Sunday, leading into Mardi Gras at 5:15.
Bacchus Sunday. Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
I know y'all's route is a little bit changed this year.
We're supposed to be starting at Britannia
Mm-hmm.
and Napoleon. That's the official start. I know the police are making some changes and doing some different things to see where we are. So, but we will be on Napoleon.
Yeah.
Whether it's Britannia, Magazine, or Tchoupitoulas, we'll be there. And we'll go down our traditional route down St. Charles Avenue to Canal, come up Julia, Tchoupitoulas to Julia, and then we go into the convention center for our rendezvous.
I don't know how much of Uptown you've seen so far this year for parades, but the crowd has migrated back to about Magazine at this point.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
even where.
I've
It's
heard
been
that.
thin.
I don't know if it's official, but
No, it's not.
but I
It's
think
still
the police are
officially
starting to say
They're like, yeah, they're
in
here.
Magazine. Magazine.
Let's see. So y'all's theme this year, From the Heart.
From the heart. Last year, before we got canceled, we were on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So everything's from the heart. I heart New Orleans, heart surgeon, Purple Heart,
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts, Eat Your Heart Out, the Heart of America. Everything's a heart, and so we push that because of Valentine's Day. So it's pretty cool. Some of the floats that we've come up with. Of course, we still have the signature floats, but we still do, I think, 22 theme floats, 25 theme floats. Yes.
Yeah, so y'all are rolling with 30.
33. I think we have right now. 33. Could be 34.
Yeah.
Right.
And like 30, and I think it was the number that I saw online and in the Arthur Hardy Guide is around 1,600 members.
Right about 16. We did top out this year, so we're pushing a little bit. We probably are pushing more towards 1,700 this year.
Wow.
Because we filled it.
Yeah.
We filled it. And so we want to stay in that 1,700 range.
Yeah.
I want to give the service. If you get a little bit too big, sometimes some things can fall through the crack.
Yeah.
I still want to make sure it's a first-class operation. You show up, your costume's there, your beads are on the float. We have full food and drinks and everything when we're getting dressed. And it's a great day, man.
Yeah.
You come to the convention center, it's like a football game. You get there, you get taped up, you get your uniform on, your costume on, you're getting excited for the game. Then it's get on the float, and that's kind of like, coming out and practicing on the field before the game starts. And then we ride up Tchoupitoulas Street, and the camaraderie between friends and family members to ride on that little quiet time before you get to Tchoupitoulas and Napoleon, this year Magazine Napoleon. And then the light turns on and the adrenaline starts pumping. And like I said, you do the whole parade route, and then you better get jacked up again to get in that rendezvous because it's a whole nother set of electrical volts.
Yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine the electricity feel from up on the float
Sure.
as Bacchus is rolling.
It's loud. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
It's loud. It's loud. It's an awesome feeling.
It's a tremendous, it's a tremendous sign of how incredible Bacchus is. Just seeing that growth from the initial 250 people to 1,700 people.
That's right.
And
it's a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, a lot of dedication. It takes, a captain, a board of directors, and hundreds of volunteers to do what we do, plus a great office staff. There's a lot of work. Bacchus rolls this Sunday. The next Monday, after Mardi Gras, we start all over.
Yeah.
We critique this year. We call it the critique meeting. 1 week later, we critique what happened this year, good, bad, or indifferent. We have one representative from each float comes to that meeting, plus our board of directors. And it's a very serious meeting. We have fun. We eat hamburgers and we have a good time and have a couple beers. But we want to know, what are you hearing from your riders? What are you hearing from your guests at the rendezvous? What's good? What's bad? What do we need to change for next year? And if you ain't changing, you're going to die. And so we're always looking to make that change, to tweak it a little bit to make it better.
Well, I can guarantee you, we always look forward to going to Bacchus.
thank
like
you.
you said, for the past 30 years, same spot. You know?
Sure.
So,
Well, it's awesome. I'm honored to be a part of it. I'm honored to take over from my dad, but I am humbled tremendously by the amount of work that people put into this organization. And I'm just one guy, but the work that goes into put something like this on is strong.
yeah, I know it takes a team to
Absolutely.
make to make a mountain,
That's
shall we
right.
say.
That's
What
right.
I mean?
That's right.
And my hat's off to
thank you.
everybody on the team.
Thank you.
That,
Thank you
you
so
know,
much.
the beauty of Bacchus is, I would say, beat by none. You know, and the magic that happens
Sure.
during that parade is always one of my happiest moments of Mardi Gras.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
We don't want to take any much more of your time. But
Yeah,
We're good, man.
Yeah, I
We're
feel
good.
like we could talk for 30
Oh, we're
hours.
good.
You know?
Hey, let's do it again next year.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
absolutely.
We'd love to.
We can do it.
We'd love
We
to.
can do it. Well, y'all have a happy Mardi Gras.
Yeah, you
a
do the
safe
same.
Mardi Gras. And laissez le bon temps rouler.
Absolutely. Hail Bacchus.
Thank you, man.
Signing
Thank you,
out. We'll see you on the route.
While you're strolling New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.